Anyone can now view the documents related to the Ripple vs. SCCL case. Ripple Labs has been served with the CSC's first remedies brief pursuant to SEAL. In the never-ending court battle, this is a major development. Notable XRP community lawyer James K. Phelan made the announcement and added that the papers would soon be revised and available to everyone. A meeting to discuss necessary redactions has been scheduled between Ripple Labs and the SEC, aiming to provide the redacted document to the general public no later than March 26th. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and Ripple Labs have been involved in a protracted legal dispute. A lot of significant things have transpired throughout this time. For quite some time, this has been the subject of contention. Various points in the conflict have witnessed these occurrences. Yes, this is correct, despite the fact that CCC, in spite of concerns that the material may be personally identifiable, the SEC has submitted its initial brief on remedies with accompanying papers. Cryptocurrency trading firm has been following a number of legal developments. These are a few of the most current decisions. Among the several legal matters that have piqued their interest are these. All of these decisions were the result of a string of sequential ones. The papers that were previously considered confidential will be made publicly available online after the redaction process is complete. This will help you comprehend the SEC's stance and the upcoming deluge of data. She was the one who posted about the change on X, informing everyone about it. It was James K. Phelan, a well-known lawyer in the XRP community, who made the assertion. It was he who broke the news to everyone. Phelan claims that a date for the public release of these materials has been agreed upon by the SEC, Ripple Labs, and the SEC. Phelan provided this data. A meeting to discuss the required redactions is scheduled on March 25th, as per their plans. The paper will also be redacted in certain sections before being shown to the public record on March 26th. We are carrying this out in accordance with the request for closure that was made earlier this week. In addition to informing everyone of these developments, these demands were made to safeguard private information without revealing it. A sealed reply from Ripple is expected in April. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, it will come to pass. To ensure that these documents are redacted and filed in an understandable and straightforward manner, the parties involved have reached an agreement on the necessary procedures. We have been given this process since the beginning of the lawsuit. Following the initial batch of CC-sent documents, the following month, once the initial report is out, Ripple Labs will submit their opposition. About 1 month after the initial filing, this will take place. To drive home this point, XRP will unveil its resistance on April 22nd, but they will maintain strict secrecy over the details. Meeting the following day to determine what requires redaction is in the cards for the parties involved. By April 24th, the general public will have a glimpse of the opposition. Consideration of an approach comparable to the one in Use the Plan calls for this to happen. The confidentiality of sensitive information is preserved throughout the decision-making process thanks to this stringent method. While doing so, it ensures that the public and other interested parties can view the procedures and arguments that went into this significant verdict once it is made public. Similar to previous responses, the Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to deal with XRP's resistance. Here we have an additional intriguing point. On May 7th, the changes will be made, and by May 8th, at the latest, the public will have access to the revised document. Consequently, this will take place following the submission and sealing of the paper prior to the May 6th deadline. Following these procedures, the critical nature of concealing some details of the case became apparent. The complaint sent after December 2020 is already public knowledge. In particular, the fact that Ripple has been secretive about the contractual and financial details associated with its institutional XRP sales has come to light. Within this context, experts discuss the likelihood of a sanction from the Securities and Exchange Commission against Ripple. Allegations surfaced that Ripple concealed the sale of XRP to large customers for a whopping $770 million from the appropriate parties. These assertions were advanced in response to the charges. An investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission was overseen by, determined that this situation constituted a violation of securities laws. The sale of XRP by Ripple to commercial entities has been the subject of allegations. This occurred just as the preliminary phases of the court battle were getting underway. Ripple might face hefty fines as a result of the continuing remedies phase, which might significantly affect the cryptocurrency. Given that we are currently at the remedies phase, this could be the outcome. This is what the speculators have proposed as their theories. The rumors that have persisted for quite some time are these. Potentially subject to fines of up to $3 billion, Ripple's on-demand liquidity ODODL sales might be considered securities. Also, there would be fines for this categorization. The ODODL sales could be considered a security if an opportunity may present itself. Conversely, the amount of the potential prospective fines is subject to a wide variety of computations. It is believed that Ripple will have to pay somewhere about $200 million in legal fees, and many people think that the fines might not even be that bad. This choice affects Ripple's present financial status, but it also, in addition to impacting the Bitcoin industry generally, This is due to the fact that it impacts these two domains to some extent. New legislation defining and regulating digital assets may be enacted as a result of the findings. This is a potential outcome that could emerge from the results. According to the guidelines set out by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, these suggestions shall be followed. Furthermore, as the parties finalize their redacted papers, stakeholders from within and beyond the Bitcoin sector eagerly await further findings. This is due to the fact that we do not yet know how the investigation will turn out. For the time being, it is just because the parties are getting their paperwork in order. This is the result of the parties currently focusing on file preparation. Redaction and public disclosure are time-consuming processes that show how important it is to be transparent in high-stakes court battles while also protecting sensitive information. The success of the legal battles depends on keeping this equilibrium. To ensure that transparency is preserved, it is critical that this balance be upheld. We must keep this fine balance if we want to reach the best possible outcome.